Headline topic for the day and for the show. What episode are we on? 333, if I'm not mistaken, of For Canon's Sake? Yes. Ant-Man actress takes a stance which is not to be expected. We're going to read into this. We're going to read from John F. Kent, Bounding in the Comics. Let's see what happened. Ant-Man and the Wasp actress Evangeline, is that how you say her name? Lily. So sounds like a fake name. Took to Instagram where she revealed she participated in the anti-vaccine mandate rally that took place in D.C. You probably heard about that on the weekend of January 22nd and 23rd. And she's even posted this. Apparently, she's still a Democrat. She actually is a Democrat. No self-awareness there because it is really heavy-handed in terms of the side of the two, not saying exclusively, that are advocating for these policies. But she posted some of these photos, basically, of her being there. We got a guy, of course, carrying a sign, and they show. And to be fair, yeah, there are people that are not who you think. And if you actually talk to some of these people, you find out that there's a lot of folks who aren't for injecting people forcefully. You know? And she posted about that, which to her credit is a little ballsy. Because she had to have known that this is a position that in her position is not an acceptable one. And now the mob is going to come for her job. Second photo shows another person holding up a sign that reads "Nurses for Vax Choice." Another sign sign can be seen that reads "Vioxx, opioids, and vaccines all have the same takers." Third banner also reads "Defeat the mandates." So she posted. This isn't anything that and this is what makes it interesting, because this isn't something that, it was undercover, like someone found and saw her. No, she just outed herself. She posted this on Instagram. She had to have known. Accompanying these 4 photos, Lily wrote, "I was in D.C. this weekend to support bodily sovereignty while Canadian truckers were rallying from their cross-country peaceful convoy in support of the same thing. I believe nobody should ever be forced to inject their body with anything against their will under threat of violent attack, arrest, or detention without trial, loss of employment, homelessness, starvation, loss of education, alienation from loved ones, excommunication from society under any threat whatsoever." And she's correct. That's what you're dealing with. Depending on where you're at, there's a consequence that comes with being against these mandates. And there's a consequence that comes with the mandates existing. And that's how they have been done. It's more extortive, more coercive practices where they have those and they say, hey, you have to get the jab in order to keep this, in order to live or have your livelihood be in the way that it was before or as it is currently. You have to do what they want. So many of you guys, unfortunately, got the jab because of that. She said, "This is the way. This is not safe. This is not healthy. This is not love. I understand the world is in fear, but I don't believe that answering fear with force will fix our problems." If someone can get her in contact with me so we can have a conversation about liberty and libertarianism, I think, because if I can get her to extend that logic right there, because essentially what she's saying is that you do not have the right to use initiatory force on other people. If I can get her to extend that to the logical conclusion, we have ourselves birthed a new libertarian. She said she was pro-choice before COVID and she's pro-choice today. Now, in response to this, there has been a lot of responses. I don't know if John dropped a lot of these. She's talking about the responses to some of what she said before in regards to this issue. But if you go look at, for example, like the news articles, and you look under the news articles and you see the typical brain dead leftist who's sitting here and she's done. She has to be recast. She has to be out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She has to be thrown under the bus. We want her gone. This is a lesson here, guys. And I need you to understand this. This is what we're fighting against. Her position is not the acceptable position among Hollywood, certainly, but among so many other industries. The left thinks they own you in that regards. So they'll support you so as long as you don't say anything against their particular social political narratives. Yes, people that are pro-vaccine mandate are pieces of shit. You are the aggressor there, and I get to call you that. I don't give a fuck what your intentions are. You're a piece of shit. Okay? You're the aggressor. Don't forget that. This is not some, oh, well, it's us against them, and this is, no. You're the aggressor. So we're the defensive agency right now, okay? Because we're not saying that you should be forced to not take it. That's not our position. Our position is that you should not, it's not that you shouldn't be allowed to take it if so you want to. The position is that you don't have the right to extort, coerce, or force, same thing, by way, like, let's say, like, directly go forcefully lay me down and inject me. Like, that's not what you don't have a right to do that either. But you get what it is I'm saying. You don't have a right to do that to other folks in this regards. And it's coming from the government for the most part. This is why I say it's not even worth discussing, like, oh, well, what about the private businesses? Can they? Yeah, they can do whatever it is. But that's not even worth talking about. And at best, that's red herring, because you're refusing to acknowledge that the scenery, the landscape that we have right now is because of the state. Okay? It's them. Now, they may have pimped a bunch of businesses who have acted in there, let's say, as the enforcement agency for them, an enforcement wing, but it's coming from the state. But the Hollywood folk and the people that are in the entertainment sector, it's not just Hollywood, in the entertainment sector as well. If someone that works for Marvel Comics came out and said the same thing, let's say in the books or DC Comics, the same thing would happen. The same exact thing would happen. They'd be thrown on the bus. They would need to be tossed aside. You see how they treat you. These are not the good people. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're trying to still have Letitia Wright, because she has a, now, I don't think she was as bold and blunt as this. But they want her recast because they don't want anybody, imagine that. They don't want anybody that's there that's in a position of influence. And this is how the left won in the first place. And this is what I want you to take from this video. Look at how they respond to this. Look at how usually the mainstream media and stuff are respond. They're going to call it anti-vax, all this other shit. Look at how they respond to this. You know why they respond that way? Because they know that's influential. Left has spent decades infiltrating and making it about them, to the point to where now the only acceptable position, if you basically are in any pocket of entertainment and you're popular, is to either shut the fuck up and say nothing, or you can loudly express. It's not like if she came and said, I'm for vaccine mandates, she's not losing her job. They're not going to say anything. She's not losing her job. It's not going to happen. It's not under threat when she said that. Now she says this, of course it's going to be under threat. That's how they won. So if nothing else, learn from that. Learn and look at how they're responding to this. That's how they won. And they know once they lose that, and they could lose this in various ways, but once they lose that power, I think some of it has to do with a lot of people, just so many people willingly funding the people that they fucking hate, or rather that hates them. More so is what it is that we're talking about. There's a way to combat this. Alternatives popping up as well to this. But once they lose that perceived legitimacy, because that's what this is all about. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the upper echelon of what is considered media and entertainment. Once they lose that influence, they have nothing, because they don't have the right ideas on their side. They're not right. They're not righteous. They're bad, authoritarian pieces of dog shit. Okay? That's what they are. The minute they lose that influence that they have culturally, they have nothing, which is why they fight so hard to not only maintain control, but to ostracize and kick out, then ostracize anybody that's a part of them that may think even slightly different than they do on this particular subject. That's why they're like that, because they have nothing else once that's gone. So they have to protect their precious baby of influence. The pendulum will start to swing once all of us that are, let's say, not pro this shit starts to wake up and say, you know what? Fuck these fucking guys. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on YouTube.com/YoungRipper59 and Odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, EricDJuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.